the time?
Yeah.
Alright.
Good morning, team. Happy Monday on a Tuesday. Jeremy and I wanted to prepare a little bit, so we were procrastinating on our meeting. Apologize, but this one we wanted to prepare for. First off, I want to say thank y'all for doing a great job. One of our principles, things that we kind of uphold, our values is good is never good enough, and the reverse of that, what that means is we're always trying to improve ourselves. You know, you're always trying to increase our skills and try to be the beacon that other professional landscapers can look toward as an example. So, good news, June through August, we're now into our 40% pay differential. So, for those of y'all that hadn't worked here before, during the 3 hottest months of the year, it goes from 33% to 40%. So what that means is y'all are doing $24.75 per production hour, 9 months out of the year, and now it's 30. So we do that because the grass is growing, the weeds are growing, the shrubs are growing at the fastest rate on top of the Georgia heat. It just kind of adds that extra level of difficulty. So what that means is now 35 budgeted hours gives you a $1,000 paycheck. So, with that heat, with those elements, it'll kind of decrease your ability to get as much done or make it a whole lot harder to get the same amount done. So that's what we got going on there. Anyone have any questions about that?
And it'll help you when it's super hot and you're soaking wet with sweat to do the right thing.
That's right. In your head, like, man, I'm getting $30 an hour. It's awesome. So we got that going on, and Jeremy, cut in, anything that you
sure thing.
want to hit on before I leave. So, Jeremy, I think I've erased the name of this. I think it's Operation Efficiency and Cutting Down on Damages
And complaints.
So, with the good is not good enough theme, I like to view myself as y'all's coach. I hope y'all kind of get that relationship as well. Not a boss that's harping down on you, always talking shit. Just want what's best for you, and I want to take what potential you got and stretch it, because that's what a coach relationship does. It's not a good coach is going to make it a little bit hard on you. So, how can we improve? And that is a question, not rhetorical. So as we go through this, I want y'all's input, want your feedback on these things. So if you got something that you think would be good to help us improve, please chime in. Like, hey, I got an idea. So efficiency, profit, and work atmosphere. Those are the 3 things that I would like us to always be focused on, always try to improve. And efficiency and work atmosphere is going to give us more profit. But being cognizant, being focused on that is what we have to do. So there's a couple things that affect efficiency and profit, which is damages. So on client property and our equipment. So with our client's property, the most common things are like siding. If you've got a house that has kind of cheap siding, the weed eater will rip it to shreds. So siding, lighting, I know it's kind of a pain. Customers will put lighting in random places, and usually it's pretty cheap too, and it gets damaged pretty easily. But it is the customer's property. I think that's the main issue of any sort of damage on property, is that it's their property. So sprinklers, you can come on in, Josh. Sprinklers and fences. So we can go into the details of where I think the damages are happening and why they're happening. That's not so important, because damages are going to happen. What's most important is this right here. And it's called hidden damages, but most of the time if you hit something, right? And going through the proper channels of what to do when you hit something is the most important thing, because you're going to hit stuff. You're out there working, it's going to happen. Good.
Worked out a deal with McKeep. I have a friend that just started a irrigation business, and he's been doing our sprinkler head replacements, and he's charging $7,500 because he's going after work and on the weekends and doing them. Struck a deal with McKeep. McKee's gonna do it for $50, so it's gonna save y'all money, versus my friend who was doing them. And, it's a way for McKee to, also bring in some extra money. So, sprinkler heads are by far the biggest. Will hit one yesterday, immediately sent me a picture. I called the customer, not upset whatsoever. It goes so much different when we let them know versus them find it. Just like, last week, Hunter Smith hit a rose bush on the mower, the weed eater. Stuff happens, and she was irate, extremely irate. And what did Hunter not do? Say anything until the next morning. So, wrong thing to do is to hold it in and not say anything, because then it looks like you're trying to hide it. And there's been other examples of that, but by far, just let us know. And that's the reason that you guys get to earn bonus dollars, is because that's where it's coming out of. You're not ever gonna make less than your 16 an hour the entire time that you're here.
And so when the damage happens, you got a couple options. If you don't mind, if you like talking to customers and you feel like knocking on the door, that's step number one. If you really just want to call the customer yourself, you got the phone number on there, I believe you can do that. Or if you're like, man, I got a busy list, take a picture, send it to Jeremy in the WhatsApp. Jeremy will handle the customer interaction. So has anybody got any feedback or any questions about that?
If it's a damage that you're capable of fixing and you can do it in a timely manner, you can also do it yourself and save yourself some money depending on what the damage is. So, number one thing is just bringing it to our attention and the customer's attention.
Right. And me and Jeremy will do our best to be, unbiased and do it on a case by case. Like, some people haven't had a damage case in, however long. If something comes by and it seems like it's not real negligent, we'll probably let, the first one slide, right?
Mm-hmm. I've let a lot of stuff slide.
So,
I'm sure you guys have experienced
that.
But,
one of the things, let's call it not so glamorous, of what leadership has to do is they have to hold the line, and when profit is super important, there's certain, if you got 11 guys out there damaging stuff, we've got to make sure those damages are, paid for. So that is what we got to do. And then our property, since Jeremy has noticed this, we might need some help from y'all's perspective of like where to secure things. Like one of the biggest things is push mower bags that we've seen. Maybe there's a better way to set up a place for the bag, or I think Jeremy was talking about leaving the bag on the mower.
Yeah, I know it's easier to use the push mower without the bag. It doesn't add that much difficulty keeping the bag on there. So we either need to, one, pick a spot for every truck to keep them so they don't get destroyed, or two, they stay on the push mowers. So
what's y'all's thoughts on that? Like where the push mower bag needs to go?
On the push mower. I just know that sometimes when my push mower doesn't have a mulch board or something, sometimes I'll have to
now, I will say this, if we can all agree to leave the bags on the push mowers, I will replace the lost mulch plugs, because that should cut that out. Leaving the bag on there, you leave the mulch plug in there unless you have a note that says must bag these clippings. So that I'd be willing to do, because I wasn't gonna buy mulch plugs after they continually get lost, switching trucks, me not knowing, and I'm not just gonna blame someone or take your money if I don't, know that you actually did it. So that's a good point to bring up. Appreciate it, Bailey.
Anybody else got anything? Any feedback?
Y'all like the sound of that though? Or get a mulch plug for every push mower again, and we keep the bags on there. I can live with that.
You got. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then with that, and the same thing, hidden damages, whether it's, you forgot, or you just are literally, like, really don't want to get in trouble. Nobody's gonna get fired for damages that you bring to our attention. So it's one of those things that, if we can go to, go to this kind of pay, if you've got the ability to earn more, basically double what any other provider is going to pay you, it comes with a little bit more responsibility, a little bit more accountability. So yeah, we hold y'all accountable for paying for damages, but at the same time, you make $1,000 a week. So it's also in your control for the most part. And sometimes, hey, things are going to happen that you gotta take the good with the bad. So,
And I will say this, we're buying a 9th truck this week, to one, cut down on 2 people trucks. We need a backup truck. My truck's technically a backup if, crap really hits the fan. If 2 trucks were to go down, my truck would go out with y'all, and then I would, just drive the Corolla for the meantime. But we are gonna add a 9th truck to also control, or manage, not control, manage how many budgeted hours y'all do, because that's where a lot of the damages and complaints come in, is where I have to load y'all up with 10 or 12 budgeted hours to try and avoid a Saturday, and that's the wrong way to try and manage budgeted hours. The right way is having enough team members and having enough setups. So, that is one thing. No one will have to do more than 7 or 8 budgeted hours, once we get that truck up and rolling. And I'm pretty sure this week, I know this week I haven't given anyone more than 8 a day, and I don't plan on it either. Unless you're doing shrubs, a little bit different story with that.
and so, the other 2 things, lost profits and lost clients, kind of go hand in hand. It's gonna happen, you know, people are gonna die, get divorced, move, lose their job, have a son that comes of age and mows their grass. There's so many different things that can happen. They buy a robot mower, whatever.
We lost 3 last week at least to them not being happy with their first, they probably had 3 or less services. Keena Theriot, Matt Hammond, what was the other one? Carol Gunter, done her yard for over a year, maybe 2 years. So that's 3 just off the top of my head that I can remember.
Yep. And those are the ones that we really, things that you can control, which is the service you provide.
Or a damage and not doing it.
Yeah, or a damage and not telling, that was the Gunter, the damage, and,
The other 2 were lack of service.
yeah, lack of service. That was like one of the first services. So,
Mm.
yeah, no, we're good. Because we, like I said, with y'all, in order to provide the best, pay, you're just a little bit more accountable. We hold you to a higher standard. Same thing with us, when I'm going out and selling these properties. We are, a lot of times, the most expensive provider out there. So our clients are gonna, that's kind of what draws a lot of them in, honestly. They're like, okay, they're the best, we're gonna go to them. Then they get their first experience, and if it's not stellar, that's a bad look for us.
And we're also the only ones that sell mowing over the phone. So that's another huge reason why we're getting so many mowing jobs, and another part of why people want to go with us. Because there's no one else you can call in this town and get a price over the phone and it actually work out for us to mow your lawn.
Get you scheduled. So, got that going on. So what we're gonna do, we haven't been doing, and it's the Augusta, one of the Augusta systems is called a yellow slip. So for instance, you know, you forget to blow off a back porch, you cause a damage, you know, whatever it may be, a client calls in, there's concern, and that's what the yellow slip's for. It's holding each other accountable. So on every Monday morning, we'll have a yellow slip table. This will be the small one. See that one? You'll have yellow slips on there, so you go check it, see if your name's on it, and you will, on a Monday meeting, typical Monday meeting, you will read it in front of the group and let them, you do it after you resolve it?
No, and I'll schedule all the resolves, because I just think
Okay.
that'll be the smoothest.
I think so.
But long story short, you grab it, you read it, you explain what happened, and you explain what you could do differently and in the next situation, or how you're gonna resolve that situation.
It's not to shame anybody, it's just straight up accountability. And it kind of reminds you, like, okay, look, I'm gonna not do that again. So we got that going on. With those yellow slips, we will be attaching some of the costs to that. So you lose a client, and you know, we'll judge it. If it's, you know, poor service, if it's negligent, we're gonna dock you $50 out of your bonus dollars. So, and also know, money can't be taken away from your $16 an hour. So it's just out of those bonus dollars, and it's a 2-week pay period. So we have weekly pay periods. You do something, I don't know, we have $250 to $300 bonuses.
Last week, I think the lightest was like 100, and then the highest was probably 300-400.
Okay, so only can come out of your bonus dollars, but yeah, lost clients, $50. Hidden damages, so client calls, say, hey, this is damaged. We go investigate it, and it's like, okay, yeah, they had to have known they hit that. That's $50. And then new client, and Connor just asked me about this. So if y'all are passing out cards or whatever, if you want to write your name on a flyer, that's fine. If anybody wants their cards with their name on it, I think it's like 100 of them or 200 of them for $10. If anybody wants me to order them for them, let me know. Give me $10. We'll take $10 out of your check to get your personalized cards. That way, when someone comes up to you, you can say, hey, and also make sure you say my name when you call into the office. We give referral bonuses, and we'll give you $50 for every new client you get. So, we will do that. Well, you cards that
I had, I just threw them away.
Did you have your ones?
No, I just threw Devin's away
Devin's?
like a couple weeks ago, no lie.
But, anybody got any questions, concerns, anything like that? Feedback? Yeah.
With the damages, like if they call and say something's damaged, what I used to do at my old company was I'd take a picture of something I noticed when I walk around the property at first, and before I start cutting, I'll send it to y'all or if they.
Yeah. I've had several of y'all do that. Hunter Smith did at least twice last week.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That way you can't get.
Yeah, so it's like they call and say, hey.
And I think some of you guys might be able to attest to this. A lot of times, if you tell them, they'll say, I don't care. Especially if it's like a termite bait station. I've had people, $30, $50 garden hose say, don't worry, I just appreciate you letting me know. So also, then you guys are hot and sweaty, been out in the sun all day. Some people are assholes and are just gonna tear into you. Some of them are gonna feel sympathy for you. So.
And it's also a case by case. We're not, we expect y'all to be honest. I feel like everyone here is honest, but at the same time, it's like a history thing. If it keeps happening, I have to change my mind about me feeling that you're honest. But if somebody calls, says you broke something, hey man, client X said you broke this, and you tell me I did not break that, I'm not gonna dock your pay. Now I might write it down on a file and see if we got 10 complaints like that in a year, and then decide like you're a liar. But other than that, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt first. So
with adding truck number 9, number 7 just pooped the bed on us, unfortunately.
Something simple.
But that gives us the opportunity to have P1 do projects, P7 do landscaping and cleanups, and that way we can have a dedicated shrub truck and dedicated mowing trucks, and I know that would mean a lot to y'all as far as having to constantly move around equipment. So that's going to be one important reason why when we have certain trucks set up for certain things, it's cleaned and organized at the end of every day, because you don't know, just like today, I had to do a couple switch arounds. You're not going to be in the truck that you were in. So I'm excited for that truck. It's going to help us get done. In some weeks, you want to talk about the...
Where the heck did it do?
May not have put it up there.
I may not have even, okay, it was supposed to be under here. So we were gonna do kind of like a vote to see what y'all thought about, Jeremy was saying, with that additional 2 team members and the truck, the average budgeted hours required to finish our week per team member, if everybody shows up, is only 32. So it's pretty low. So what that's gonna enable us to do is everything runs smooth, trucks don't break down, 30-40% of our workforce doesn't show up, sun's shining, things are good, we could get all of our work done Monday through Thursday. So, but in order to do that, we would have to, decide, okay, what kind of environment do we want? Do we want to work 4 10s/11s, and try to go for that, knowing that if things happen, rain, holiday, 30% of our workforce doesn't show up, or 3 trucks shit the bed, that you're gonna be working Friday. Or we decide that, okay, our average day is gonna go from 7 to 4?
7 to 3, 7 to 4,
7 to 4.
or a half day on Friday.
What are y'all thoughts on that? Those two scenarios.
I think that's money.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You're gonna get the same amount of budgeted hours done in the 4 days. Like, that's 4, 10-hour days in the field. So not coming back before 5:30 or 6 p.m. And there's always, for those of you that want more money, obviously, guess what? There's a whole nother day, Friday.
Plus, we don't live in a bubble, so trucks will break down, people will not show up, it's gonna rain.
Just like this, guess what we're missing right now? 2 team members. Hunter's sick, Will's, got a stomach bug. So, you know, just like that.
That's 14 to 16 budget hours on the table for someone to grab immediately. So yeah, people that are hungry, people that want more budgeted hours, it will create the ability for y'all to get it, but it also will create a more sustainable work atmosphere that you're not feeling overworked with the heat, with working Saturdays. That's what we want. We want a sustainable environment where people can come here, get paid the most amount of money in landscaping period, and also be able to work on themselves. Because if I'm pushing you to better yourself, like, hey, read this book, and you're working 60 hours, you're gonna tell me to go get lost. But if I say, hey, the folks that I've talked to that have read these books, that have tried to better themselves, have gone from $11 an hour to $60,000 a year, plus profit sharing, plus about to have their own location, on a track to be the owners of it, then you might listen to me if you have enough time to work on yourself. And you know what I mean? So, because that's what I want. Like, more than anything, I want to make as many millionaires as I possibly can. I want to touch people financially in a way that is positive and that's going to change the way they can handle their family's finances. That's my goal.
Yeah, my brother 3 years ago couldn't just getting started. He'd maybe make it through a 3-day week in the summer, maybe a 3-day week. He did 2 5-day weeks his first summer, and now next year he'll have his own location, $50,000 salary, and a truck and a cell phone.
Yep.
So,
and this guy yesterday just cranked out 12 budgeted hours well before 5 o'clock. It was like 4:10 when he called me. I was on the way to the shop. Completed 12 budgeted hours, made $360 in the field yesterday. So also new guys,
complaints as well.
if you want to figure out how to make the most amount of money, one of the folks that does it the best is Matthew, as far as on the maintenance side of things, and also one of the most consistent people in the room making good money is Bailey, as far as maintenance side of things. Project side of the house, if you want to figure out some things, that would be McKeith and Devin. That y'all will all have chances to work with them. And then also, you're here every morning, if you want to ask them questions, get some feedback from them, that would be probably a wise idea.
Checking y'all's list. I'm not a mind reader. If I had the ability to tell all of you what you needed and what you were going to expect throughout your day, I probably would, but that would still be a handicap in y'all from taking or handling that responsibility. But every night the schedule will be done by 9:30 p.m. at the absolute latest, sometimes early as 6. So I'm just going to tell y'all by 9:30. I know none of y'all are asleep, so your schedule will be done.
Oh, that's subjective though. I could be sleeping all day, not all the time.
But that's fine, that's fine. Just check it before you come to work, please.
Yeah.
Please, let's start doing that, because just like yesterday, Gabe, can we use you guys as an example?
Of course.
Yeah, what did we forget? The aerator. They're not the only ones. Everyone in here, including myself, has forgot something.
Yeah.
But looking at your list and looking at the services is gonna be a big help with efficiency, and time costs y'all money. Now that you know that budgeted hours are getting spread out between more people, the more efficient you are, the longer you can stay away from the shop, the more money that you can make. So let's make a conscious effort to check the night before, or at least before you guys walk in the door.
And then one more thing, training. It has come to our attention that so in order to be efficient, profitable, have a good work atmosphere, we've got to, like, having a training component. We've got that sheet that we run new folks from, but I've been amiss. I should have been there every single day. You know, either the morning after. Yeah, that's what it has to be. The morning after, going through those checklists, going through those notes with the trainer and the new team member, so that I can facilitate that process. It's not an easy thing. You might be real experienced in the field, but being a leader and trying to teach somebody how to do stuff, number one, you have too many budget hours to do that effectively. So by reducing those budget hours, focus on the training, giving somebody 2 weeks, just, to see if they've got the skills to be an Augusta team member. Super important, but I think I need to be there to facilitate on daily notes. So taking daily notes of specific things like, hey, on Ms. Jones' property, you missed, several areas of weed eating on the inside perimeter, around the pool, around the pump, whatever, around the bird feeder, so that you give specific feedback to your person you're trying to train. That's super important. You can't just be like, well, you missed weed eating. They need to be reminded every single property until it gets, because if you keep reminding them specifically and you get to the end of the training and they're just not there, you just have to tell them that. Like, hey, look, you gave a good effort, you got a good attitude, you're missing this area, line trimming and debris collection. Go get some experience, come try it again later. And that's, I'd like to facilitate with that. If anybody that has trained, they give me your feedback on it. You don't feel like you don't have support with that?
I just felt like I was doing a lot of hours to be able to stop and like really,
Yeah, you were doing a lot of hours. Yeah, that's why we've got to be able to give y'all enough hours to train somebody, but not too much to where you feel overburdened.
Yeah.
And then
It's so good training, it just felt like I couldn't slow down ever.
Right. And that's not the kind of training environment we want for the team member or the trainer. That just sucks.
It was not fun.
No, it's not fun.
Should we do wills and hunters, or want me to at least read them so that way? Because also,
I'll be Will.
Alright, also wanted to make sure I had all these done so we could see visually how many, and this isn't all of them, these are ones that just pertain to complaints that I felt needed to be on a tail snap. I'll do hunters, and then he'll also do it when he comes back to work. May 31st, client was Carol Gunter. Hunter damaged a rose bush while providing a mowing service, did not notify management until the next morning. Customer had already called and emailed us very upset. So the takeaway from that should be, if you damage something, you knock on the door, you call them, or you notify me. And that is the second time that shrubs, plants on our property have been damaged, so she was really pissed off. I mean, crazy mad. So that's beside the point. It's best just to let us know when you break something. So.
And then, one of our values is extreme ownership, just on a baseline, owning everything in your world, not allowing excuses to dip in to mitigate your blame. So just owning it, saying, what can I do differently to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I had a job for Carolyn Henry to get tree limbs and vines.
We had I kind of short shafted that one. He did he did about 20 budgeted hours worth of work, smashed it all in one day, and had to go back the very next week because he didn't do everything.
Okay, got that.
Including tree limbs and vines. Tree limbs on a fence, vines on a fence. So, had he let me know, hey, I'm not really done, he could have gone back Tuesday, the following day, and also saved us some money from her having to call, email, let us know that the job's not done. Also, from a professional brand, the customer shouldn't have to let us know the job's not finished. The team member should let me know. And also, yeah, hey, if you don't ever finish something or you need to go back somewhere, just let me know.
Yeah, just don't hit complete on your dispatch. 5/16, date resolved 5/30, Theresa Hill. Quote in video stated to cut up and remove fallen tree in backyard. Tree was not removed. I should have watched the video more carefully and double checked my job to make sure that tree, I got everything that the client was expecting. So that's what happened. He had to go back and actually get the tree. So that's it. Like I said, it's not about blame, it's not about shame, it's about accountability and taking action, which is customer centered. So we'll go around the line.
I left the gate open at Melissa Birch.
Yeah, so that was Devin and Connor did a mowing service. Where I messed up, there was not a job note on there that said she didn't fire us because she likes what we've been doing, but she fired her last company for that. So I put a job note on there. So now anyone that goes there should know how important it is that we close your gate and all other gates.
Our last company, meaning their last company?
Their last company, yes, sorry.
I left 1 foot out, 1 foot of weed mat along the border of flower bed.
Where at?
It's a Ratchford.
Ooh.
What did you have to do?
I had to go back, scrape the mulch back, and put weed back on the back.
Man, you gotta see that.
Yeah.
I killed all the grass.
It is.
Teamwork.
You get rid of that stuff.
Teamwork.
But team.
That's right. I mowed the wrong yard, at Bianca Turner. I didn't check the address, I was kinda in a hurry. I could slow down to fix that,
Yeah,
check the
just-
address more.
Yeah, just always double check your address. I think everyone in this room is.
Yeah, let me
kinda-
quit. Oh man, I've been in all kinds of crazy places. So you got the dispatch board, right? You click it to go to your map function.
Oh, that's, sometimes it'll put a whole nother address in there, yeah.
That's why people a lot of times hit the wrong properties, because it says an address, you click map, it takes you to whatever map your phone has. That address is wrong. So if you get in the habit of, when you click that map function, switching back to your service autopilot, making sure the address on the client list matches where your address is, you'll kind of stop that. And then when you get there, obviously make sure to look at the address and it matches the mailbox, because that, and I've had a job in downtown Augusta, and it took me to Evans. If you get a Sussex, there are 2 Sussexes, and sometimes they'll take you to downtown Evans, sometimes it takes you, that's a 35-minute ride.
Also had missed line trimming and mowing, and another team had to go back and fix it at Kena Theriot. The line trimming, I can do what Jeremy, kinda suggested, was he flips the trimmer.
Oh, yeah, along the fence line, yeah.
And I can go back and double check the mowing and go back over any spots missed if I notice them.
Appreciate it. Connor, that was a good read.
Alright, so it says 520 and 526 at Cisco Johnson. Client canceled services after not being satisfied with the sticks not being picked up on the lawn. There was a job note saying pick up sticks inside the lawn.
And that was you and who?
Me and Will.
Okay.
Me and Will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just gotta read the job notes. Yeah, do my job right. And then 6-2 at Cody Belcher, I did not mow the right yard, and that's kind of on me. I've been to that yard before, so I just kind of jumped out. I guess I got overconfident. I just saw Orchard, whatever. I saw like the address and went to the wrong yard, I guess, and mowed it. So.
Yeah, and I would say this time of the year, people are seeing our trucks. You can get an estimate over the phone. So confirming the address is huge. 1, because the GPS might take you to the wrong place, and 2, a whole bunch of new yards. You know, it might be right next to a yard we do, might be on a different week. So always confirm it.
I appreciate everybody's attention. Anybody got anything, doesn't have to be topic related, anything they wanna chop up before we head on out?
And I will say, it seems like the 4-day week is not too popular, so we'll stay working 5 days.
Man, I'm down with it. I'm down with
Yeah,
it.
I think what's steering me away from jumping with Joy was just like, but the budgeted hours, like
Yeah,
you
we gotta
said,
keep running.
but y'all said that they're there if we want them, right? If they're there if we want them, then 4-day weeks are cool,
So-
because like if I need extra money and I can come to you guys and be like, hey, can I work on Friday
Yeah.
and, you know, get some extra money from budget hours or whatever, and y'all say, yeah, we got them, that's cool.
It would be like this, in order to get all the work done Monday through Thursday, we would be getting
9 or 10.
1.5 to 1.75 additional budgeted hours for those 4 days
Right.
than we would if we spread it out to 5. So that's why we say that the budgeted hours would be the same total for a 4-day versus a 5-day, because the days are gonna be longer for your 4-day than your 5-day.
Yeah, the only thing that concerns me is y'all being out there literally mowing your last yard between 5 and 6 p.m. and you just being tired of shit, and then you catch a complaint, which is counteractive to what we're trying to do, you know? So, that's one thing to consider. But also, if we don't do the 4-day week, we can get off early on Fridays, so.
That's not bad either.
Yeah, I said we give it a shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it
Who's
a
all-
shot.
Who would like to try for a 4-day week, knowing that you're gonna have a little bit longer days?
Like how, you said how many budget hours in that being at?
It's gonna be between 9 and 10
Per person.
per person
Ain't gonna bother me.
for your 4 days.
And the project folks, I mean, if you're on a project, you most likely wanna get done so you get paid, so. But when you're on mowing, so let's just, everybody in their head, say, hey, I'm mowing, and think about it that way.
Yeah, I'm usually out late every
He doesn't,
day,
he
but
just wants to.
I don't give a fuck.
It'll always be there.
I'll be out there till 7, 8 o'clock.
Let's just get a general opinion. Who all's down for the shooting for a 4-day?
I'm down. Sounds cool.
It's a split decision.
Yeah.
So, split. We'll just rock
You
with
were-
it. We'll just rock with giving y'all,
That's
set-
sometimes.
that's right. You're right. You don't wanna die.
That's a
out
lot of
there.
hours there. Easy money.
Well, we'll just shoot for,
mean, I do
you know,
it,
7 to 8
You don't
VHs a
already
day.
do it.
You don't
Yeah.
get an extra day to
I don't
recoup
think
though.
10 hours a day is a lot of hours.
No, it's 10 budgeted hours.
10, so it
Yeah.
could be 12.
I mean, that's requiring everyone to do. I mean, some people might get burned out.
Me personally, I think, I think we have to factor in that you guys all wanna make over $1,000, and
That's only
that's gonna redline you all Monday through Thursday, meaning you're going to be in the sun for 12 hours, and then have to turn around and do it right again.
It's only 35 VHs.
Well, we got 2 people not here today, you also gotta factor that in. 2 people not here, truck breaks down, we're least efficient. So me personally, I do think shooting for a half-day Friday is more realistic. That's what I personally think.
Yes.
Because if you factor in trucks breaking down and y'all not coming in, that's even more shit y'all have to do Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we're playing ourselves by saying, let's work 4 days, but we can't ever do it.
Everyone has to sharpen blades when you get off, and then that would require everyone to work a lot later.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like sharpening when I get off real late.
Yeah. Well, we'll just rock with it, see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll just plan to get off early as we can Fridays. I think that's,
You don't
yeah.
think cutting Friday to a half day would put us behind once we get like new clients?
We're just gonna, so the new norm is gonna be like, once we get to, what we do is say, all right, how many budget hours do we have in a week, right? We divide it by how many team members we have. Once it surpasses 35, we're gonna hire more people, get another truck.
Because something's always breaking, someone's constantly not gonna be here. And, for example, we did 311 budgeted hours last week, and we're capable of doing at least 350. So
We still got we got a good bit of room to grow and sustain our good atmosphere.
But that would be good too, cause I worked every Saturday the past month. Yeah,
You got?
yeah, past 4 Saturdays. Matt counted on my schedule the other day.
one of those was, is it, you were
Yeah,
sick?
I was sick one
Day and made up, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
That's still
But
awesome.
that's cause they also, Matthew's been doing all of North Augusta by himself
Yeah.
too, so.
Gotcha. Alright.
So if that would limit that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna limit that. That's the goal.
Alright, well, let's, make sure we all have a mulch plug. If you don't, let me know. I'll buy one. Let's put bags on our push mowers and let's have a great day. This is where everyone's at.
I gotta get you set up on the
McKean,
software.
if y'all wanna take Will's truck, y'all can, so y'all don't have to, feel cramped in the ramp rack truck.
Yeah, what about that,
Lisa?